There is a story of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and his son Elazar. They went into hiding because there was a decree to capture them and kill them by the Romans. 12 years they were in a cave, studying, eating carob, drinking water. 12 years later, Eliyahu Hanavi himself came and told them, the government has changed. The times are easier. You can come out. They came out. They saw a farmer farming. They could not understand how he was wasting important time by doing such a tedious act, lowly act. Immediately, flames came out from their eyes and the field started burning. God came to the rescue and told both of them, are you here to destroy my world? Go back into your cave. They went back, studied, and the next time when they came out, the sun still had the flames. But this time, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he extinguished those flames and told his son, son, you and me are sufficient for this world. Then they saw the farmer carrying two bunches of myrtle leaves. So he asked, what are you doing with those leaves, fragrant leaves? So the farmer says, I'm taking them to my house for Shabbat. And Rabbi Shimon asked him, why are you taking two? And the farmer replied, one is for Shamor and one is for Zachor. One is to remember the Shabbat day and one is to keep the Shabbat day. And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai turned to his son Elazar and said, look how precious are the precepts to the children of Israel. And the story ends. This superhero story with fire coming out of the eyes and everything, what is the message? And there is an essence of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai in this story, and I don't want any of you to miss it. Who was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai? As a student, he was the one who caused in the Sanhedrin a turmoil where the precedents had to be changed. That was the first fire. That was the kind of Torah study he was using, and that could have been used for a destructive purpose. And God says, you have to go back into your hidings. The next time when he comes out, there is still, I will tell you his next story, and then you will realize what is the first story talking and telling us about. When he went to the yeshiva of Rabbi Akiva, Akiva said, I won't take a student who caused conflicts among my colleagues. Such a student I won't have. But Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he went on the ceiling and he was listening to the Torah. But it was a cold winter and he could have frozen to death. He was brought down, and then Rabbi Akiva realized that this boy has the potential, finally took him as a student. Later on, Rabbi Akiva was killed in a marketplace, tortured to death. And Rabbi Shimon, his student who looked upon him like a parent, could not ever forgive Romans. And this is the reason he was in exile. When he came out of his exile, he still had many issues. Why are they saying he and his son? It is because it is a family trait, a challenge. Anger and arrogance were his trait. He had those challenges in life. And finally, I want to tell you the story where you see that he sees that peace is the more important thing that he has to learn. So, when the government once again changed to be bad for the Jewish people, and there were decrees that you couldn't study Torah, no Shema, and no ordinances of new rabbis, and if they found, they killed people. At such a time, the emperor of Rome, his daughter went crazy. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai went to the Roman people, keeping his anger on side, keeping his hatred for them on a side. He went and he cured the emperor's daughter. And the emperor says, "How can I pay you?" And Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, "Take away the decree." And because that decree was taken away, once again Judaism flourished. It was salvation, a time, that time, a salvation for Jews. This is what Simon Bar Yochai brought into that period. The cancellation of decree. He had a student like Yehuda HaNasi who wrote the Mishnah. This is the light that he brought. The light came into the world when he kept his arrogance on one side. If you look, first his behavior was waters of strife. The waters that are high, heaven, look at the waters on the ground and say, "You are impure." This was his attitude. He was a studious person, but you can't call such a person sage. Then there was arrogance in which he thought like he was like the grape juice, the grapes who think that the sweetness is only for me, mine. That arrogance, this is not a character trait for a saint. But when finally he knew the turmoils that he had to go through, he really was like the olives from which the oil had to be squeezed out. When you take number of olives and each olive squeeze another, this is how you bring oil into this world, and the oil which always comes up, and then it can light the light into the world, bring the light into the world. This is what Shimon Bar Yochai was doing. He was taking up the challenges which his life had given him, and he converted himself, changed himself into the biggest light that was brought into the world, bringing redemption and peace for that period of time. This is what we appreciate. This is the reason, and not in the La La Land supernatural stories of fires and superhuman beings. Superhuman beings are created. Through this story, you have a glimpse how Torah has to be studied. You take a story in Torah, you press it with another story in Torah, the oil that comes out will bring the light into the world. Thank you for now. Bye.